Welcome back to Patrick Draws. Today we're going to be drawing a unicorn. So let's get right into it. So I've already imported this drawing I found on the internet of a unicorn, and I'm going to grab my brush tool and let's just start tracing the shapes that I see. And obviously I see a triangle here. Let's look for some circles. I see a circle on the hip there, maybe another one on the nose here, another little circle here, half circle for the cheek, and then I see this is basically a portion of a big circle right here. And if I were to keep going with this line, you would see we're just grabbing a portion of a circle. And you can almost say the same thing about this line here. So let's see, let's look at the legs here. We've got a couple of rectangles like that. And let's throw an oval in for the eye. Here's almost a football shape here for the ear. And as we look at the tail here, what I'm seeing is a bunch of S curves. So there's one S, there's another S, and another, and another. So the S curve is not necessarily a shape, except for it's almost like a half circle with another half circle. And you kind of get your S out of that. And so you can make that S look any way that you want. So they're not necessarily a shape in themselves when you're doing an S curve. But if we wanted to find a shape in here, I might see kind of an oval in here, and then we've got our half arch there and a half arch there. So, or maybe, actually, now I'm looking at this, kind of a triangle here. Not perfect triangles, but we're seeing triangle and maybe even a rectangle here. But it's closer to an oval. That's kind of what I'm seeing. That's going to give us our arc. But again, let's go ahead and just stick with our S curves here. So we've got a little S there, another one there, one there, and then another one there. So let's go ahead and, well, if we want to draw the moon here, we've got a half a circle there and a half a circle there. So if I pull down on the original drawing, we can see it's starting to look like a unicorn, and all we've really done is some shapes and some S curves. So if we were to go in and just connect some dots here, you know, it's really starting now to look a lot better like a unicorn. So I'm going to go ahead and bring back the original drawing. And now I'm going to pull down a little bit the opacity of my shapes, and I'm going to switch layers here, and I'm going to go ahead and start drawing my own unicorn over here. So the first thing I'd probably want to do is I like to start with the head, so I'm going to do a little circle there for the nose. And I know that the head here probably has an oval shape, something like that. So I'm going to do something similar, and that oval cuts through about a little bit through the nose there. And beneath the nose, we've got the body. So if I were to extend this circle here, we almost can get ourselves a little bean shape here. So that bean shape falls pretty much right below the nose. So let's go ahead and try and do something similar. And then I'm going to add my circle here for the hip. And let's go ahead and the neck here is almost like a triangle. So I'm going to do something like that, just to give me an idea of where the neck needs to go. Let's go ahead and add some feet here. So I know that the feet are going to stop right around this line, so I'm going to draw a little line so it helps me show where the feet are going to end. And I'm just going to throw in some rectangles here for the feet. And I think we had one something like that and something like that. Okay, now from here I can do another rectangle that joins in up here, and let's do something similar here. So we've got a little bigger on that one and then a little bit like that. And another little shape there, and almost a rectangle right there. So now we've got our 4 legs, body, neck, head, and nose. Let's go ahead and add in the triangle for the horn, which we can see kind of comes in line with the eye there. So if I have the eye right around here, then the horn is going to shoot out right about there. So we'll throw a triangle right there. And then the ear is coming off of this line here. So I know that from the nose through the eye, then we've got the ear kind of coming out here. So we've done our little football shape. And let's add in the tail. So let's just start from right about here and just do some S-curves. And then we do another one and try and get it to match the first line. And let's go ahead and add something like that. So then we've got the mane here. So before I add the mane, I want to go ahead and add this arc here for the neck. And this arc kind of comes right off of the body arc. So as this arc comes, it just keeps coming around like that. And then let's go ahead and do an arc there like that. You can see that this nose is actually, we need to connect this, so let's go ahead and do that. And let's add the mane now. So we can do a little S curve there. We can do a little J curve. We can do a little J curve, something like that. And another little arc and another, so like that. And now let's go for the top of the head hair, which kind of comes out from the ear. And what I'm not doing is I'm not doing like that and then like that. I'm doing, because these are still my rough drawings, one long line, and then we can come back and clean this up later. And so from the base of the ear, going over the forehead, we've got another one. Another S curve. And one right in the middle. And then the horn is going to come out in between these two pieces of hair here. So let's go ahead, throw a little arc here on the eye, and then throw the pupil in. And then the nostril is somewhere right about there. Actually, the nostril lands right about on that line that we had. So let's go ahead and just do that. And let's add some of these curves here for the leg. So we're basically adding a curved line to smooth the leg out as we go from here to here. And this is almost straight line, straight line. Here we get a little bit of a curve into the straight line. The bottom of the hooves, we're just going to do some arcs. Okay, now this arm, we've got it breaking into the body here. So we want to make sure that we do that. Let's go ahead and add some arcs here. We come up and over. And then the same thing here. We're just tracing the lines, the shapes that we've got with a more curved line. And the hoof there. Okay, So the scale and the proportions of this are pretty close to what we've got here. Not perfect, but that's okay because we're doing our own drawing here. And now I think I'm ready to go in and clean this up on a new layer. So let's go ahead and add a new layer. And I'm going to call this my cleanup. And now I'm going to take the opacity down on my red drawing here. And then I'm going to trace over this with black. So this is going to be my cleaned up drawing. And now I want to look for the main lines. So you can start from anywhere. Let's go ahead and start on the nose here. And you'll see that this line here doesn't go all the way to the ear. So I'm going to stop that short. We'll go ahead and draw the ear here. Our little football shape here. Do one of the swooshes for the hair, another swoosh for the hair. Make sure we connect those. And now I'm only going to draw that portion. And now I am going to finish so that we can draw the horn in here without having to erase. Okay. Let's go ahead and draw the eye. So we're going to do a couple of oval shapes there. And I'm going to go ahead and add the neck. So the neck, you see this, we've got this line going all the way from there. So I'm going to try and do something similar right now. Something like that. Okay. Now let's go ahead and start tracing some of the legs here. And we've got another swooping line that comes down. And okay. And it's okay to undo or erase if you need to. Let's go ahead and add that line there. Now this leg is behind the body here, so. And you don't have to trace exactly over your red drawing. If you feel like you can make a better, cleaner line, go for it. So the tail here is kind of coming out like this, and I didn't really do that here. So I'm going to try and fix that at this stage here. So I know I need to do something like that. And then I'll do my swoops. So 1, 2, 3. And you can practice doing swoops just on a blank piece of paper, all day long. And you'll get better at them. And let's add the nostril. Let's go ahead and add the back hair here. So another swoop, 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 and a swoop. And let's add a few eyelashes here. I'm going to take my eraser and I'm going to add a little highlight to the eye. There we go. And now we've got some detail work here on the legs, so I'm just going to add a few spots here. And I'm not going to do these perfectly as how they've got them. I just want to make sure I've got some dots there on the back of the leg. And now one thing I notice here, I do need to come back with my eraser and erase this line here, because we want to make sure that that leg is in front. And now I'm just kind of looking over it and cleaning up a few things that I can clean up with my eraser. And we're getting close to being done here. So let's take a look at this. I'm just going to take a quick glance and make sure I'm not missing anything. And let's add a line here for the ear. And actually, I think I missed that little line coming out there. So let's do that. And it looks pretty good to me. So let's go ahead and take a look at this without the underdrawing. And let's look at the original. And now what I'm ready to do, if I want, is to go ahead and color this. But you can see that the original color of this is white, so I'm going to try and pick like an off-white here, maybe even a little. Let's go ahead and make it a little green here and just so we can see our colors here. And I'm just going to quickly fill in some colors because we're going to make it our own colored unicorn here. And I'll pick let's pick something a little different. Okay, let's grab some yellow for the hoofs. And we need to make the horn the same color as the hoofs. So there we go. And, you know, I'm not doing the shadow. I just want to show how I do the basic drawing from looking at another drawing using basic shapes. And it's not perfectly a perfect replica of this, but it's my own, and that's kind of what you want to go for in your drawing as well. So I hope you enjoyed this, and thanks for following along. If you have an image you want me to draw, just leave your suggestion in the comments below. This has been another episode of Patrick Draws. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.